Alright, hello again everybody. So hopefully all the stuff about what a directrix is, what a vertex is, all of that stuff makes sense. And now we want to use that information, particularly the fact that the distance, if we go back to what we did in the last video, particularly what we want to focus on and the important stuff is that this distance is what we call a distance of p just being a variable. And what we want to do is we want to use that information, particularly the p-value, to write some equations for parabolas and what we call standard equations, as well as graph it and be able to draw all the directrix. So just more stuff about parabolas for us. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with an equation. So we're going to talk about parabolas that open in the vertical direction. So they either open up or they open down. So the equation, what does the equation look like? So the equation looks like this. It's going to be y equals 1 over 4p. P is part of the denominator. And remember we talked about that p distance just a moment ago. Equals x squared. Right? So when we have a parabola with the equation y equals 1 over 4p x squared, particularly we have an x squared here and it's a y equals, we know it's going to open up or down. That allows us to find certain things. It allows us to find our focus, which we'll call point F, and that's going to be 0 comma p. Now I should also mention that this is when we have the vertex at the origin. So your vertex is going to be 0, 0. Okay? Alright, the directrix. The directrix is going to be y equals a negative p-value. And so while all those things are important, when we actually go to graphing, we'll just be doing a lot of counting is all. So this is just formal procedures. Alright, so what does the graph look like? So if p is positive, that means it's going to open upwards, so p is greater than 0. That means my focus is going to be up here at 0p. I should also mention that my vertex is right here at 0, 0. And remember, whatever this distance is, okay, for between my vertex and my focus, my directrix, which is this line right here, okay, my directrix is going to be the same distance. So whatever this distance is this distance, and we just say y equals negative p because we're going in the opposite direction. Okay. If p is less than 0, which means p is negative, we basically take all this stuff and we flip it around. So my vertex goes down. This is still my vertex right here. My focus comes down here. Whoops, you can't see that, can you? Sorry about that. And my directrix comes up here. We still label everything the same, 0, 0, and this is still 0p, and this is still y equals negative p. Okay? But the main thing is we know it opens up or down, because then once we have our vertex, we can do our counting. And hopefully that'll make sense when we look at the examples outside of, or excuse me, in class tomorrow. Alright, so that's if it's a vertical direction. If it opens horizontally, so it's going to open left and right. It's going to be very similar. Notice vertically it's y equals 1/4 p x squared. If it's going to be horizontal, we got to flip-flop our x and y. So we're going to have an equation of x equals 1 over 4p y squared. Our focus is going to be p comma 0, okay, because we're going left and right, so we got to work with the x coordinate. Our directrix is x equals negative p. And what does it look like? If p is positive, it's going to open to the right, like that. There's my vertex still, vertex at 0, 0. My focus is way out here, and let's see, it's going to be p comma 0. And my directrix, we say x equals negative p. Okay. Lastly, if p is less than 0, it's going to open this way, and everything's going to be reversed. So my focus is still, we're going to say p0. My directrix goes way over here. x equals negative p, and my vertex here is still at 0, 0. Okay? Now, I know that's a lot of letters, and so you might be a little confused. So what's the important thing? The important things are the equations. If I have a y equals, it's going to open up or down. And basically, I need to figure out what my p-value is. Because I know my origin, or my vertex is always going to be at the origin. If p is greater than 0, I'll put it up here, and it's going to open up. P is greater than 0, it's going to open up. If p is less than 0, it's going to open down. Same thing over here. If I have an equation x equals 1 over 4p and I have a y squared, that's going to open left and right. Key things, if p is greater than 0, it opens to the right. If p is less than 0, it opens to the left. All right? Okay, we'll stop there. As long as you have all of this stuff like we've done before, if you look at the next page, you can see we have some examples that we'll do in class. And hopefully that'll help clear up some of these